Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
I'm Caitlin.
The most purchased computer software in the world is not an it, but a she. And her name is Hatsune Miku.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Oh, Hatsune.
Anyway.
Welcome to Geeks
And
Corner.
I'm Cameron.
You are Cameron indeed. I'm so proud of you.
You know what I'm proud of as well? Using the hashtag Geeks Corner to talk to us on the show. Use Twitter, because that's what we're going to be looking at. If you use hashtag Geeks Corner, you can talk at us, and then we might talk back, probably.
It's
Probably.
your civil duty
Maybe.
as an American.
And
as
or wherever you're watching.
as a citizen of this earth, or space, or wherever you happen to be
Space.
watching Geeks Corner.
The final frontier.
If you're watching from space on the Enterprise,
I was going to go with
Please.
the ISS, but...
no.
Okay.
The Enterprise.
No.
Isn't it weird? Never mind. I'm not going to go down that rabbit trail. It's been a busy week at Disney this week. Pirates of the Caribbean reopened with some new enhancements and characters that are now found in this. And we were talking a little bit about this beforehand, but let's just go through what were you most excited about in the changes in the attraction.
I
Fireworks.
didn't like that.
Those were fireworks. That was
I'm
good
like
thumb.
I'm like
That
a
was a
small
good
animal
thumb.
tonight. Like every noise is terrifying to me. Well, I'm like a small animal every week, but that's beside the point.
so favorite part of the attraction now.
Well, the thing I was looking forward to the most, the only change I was expecting was the auction scene.
Mm-hmm.
That was all I knew about. But the the old
new.
cave where the waterfall used to be.
Mm-hmm.
That is my new, like, most excited thing. I can't wait to see it in person.
I haven't gotten to go yet. And in fact, I didn't know that there was something with tentacles until this evening. And suddenly, I'm much more excited. I was very excited to hear about a mirrored effect, a member of our audience referenced, or perhaps not a mirrored effect.
An
Somehow,
effect. A
We don't know
magical
how it
An
effect.
effect of making a person skeleton-y and then not.
Ooh.
So I've now been on it twice, and I
You
feel like
win.
I know. So I noticed more stuff the second time. But I like the tunnel too. But I felt like I paid a little more attention to the auction scene, not just on red.
Mm-hmm.
I think what makes me laugh is the woman who's up next to the auctioneer. They had to totally change her because she's no longer up for auction. So she's holding a basket of eggs and a chicken, and she has a sad face like. And I didn't notice
It really
the
is
first
kind of
time.
sad.
Is this
And
the
so it just
more
makes me
corpulent one
laugh.
raised
Yes.
up? Yes.
Yes.
I love
Just
it.
her face
She
made
looks-
me laugh.
She looks very sad.
It's great.
Like, it's tragic. I almost, like, you feel bad for her when you look
She
at it.
doesn't want to get rid of her head.
It's a foofy face. It's just like.
Yeah, it's very tragic. Let's talk about the tunnel a little bit. The tunnel, they brought back the old audio from original.
Yes.
And this is the transition from where you're going from skeleton pirates to suddenly you're in the real pirate's life. And they did a fantastic job of making this pirate that is now it's skeleton one way you look at it, and then it's a pirate, or a living pirate the other way you look at it. And then you've got the octopus that's sitting right next to him, which I actually thought may have been a nod to Davy Jones.
Maybe.
That would make sense.
Because he had his...
I was going to say, is he just under the water going...
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually what it turns out he is before he became Davy Jones. I don't know.
I was like, I'm sorry, what?
I'm like, what historical canon are you referencing?
I know,
I
was like-
make things up all the time. Haven't you played this game before?
No, I trust you
So,
implicitly.
quick,
Okay.
if you have access to edit Wikipedia,
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
No.
Bad idea on multiple
no,
fronts.
go to like the fandom Wikipedia. So it's like the pirates.
You know, not the real one.
Not like the real Wikipedia, but go there and then just create your own lore from things that we've said here on the show.
Or not.
And then dead silence just falls.
'Cause
and
we're
everyone's
all like,
that's
I'm
terrible.
not-
Malaise.
That's
I'm
a
not
terrible
touching
idea.
this with a 10
Better
foot
start
pole.
a Daps Magic Wiki. That'd be pretty cool. Somebody get on that.
That'd be cool.
Put that my beard is the
I
sweetest
feel
smelling
like
of all beards.
Bailey
It's
probably
not.
already has a Daps Magic Wiki.
Wheelie.
Wheelie Wiki.
A
I don't know.
wheelie!
Daps Magic stunts.
So the tunnel's super cool. They also had a new pirate in the opening basement scene. I don't know what to call that room. Tunnel scene.
It's like the beach.
Yeah, on the beach. There's a new pirate there, and they've updated some lights and stuff. That's pretty cool. But the auction is really what everybody's talking about. What did you think about this new auction scene, Caitlin?
So first, I have to say, Pirates is not my favorite by any means.
You've just gone on it twice since it opened
I
on
know.
Friday.
Well, it was one of those things when we went the other night. It was like, wait 30 minutes for the Toy Story bus after fireworks. Go on the Pirates. You know, it was 15-minute wait. So it was like,
That's not bad.
you know, yeah. Pirates, to be quite honest, is my nap time ride. I will go and I will put my sunglasses on and I will take a nap.
Let
for
us know
15
your
minutes.
comments on that one.
Sorry. I feel kind of indifferent. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I feel like it's so updated and she's such a fluid animatronic that it makes some of the rest of them just kind of look like
That's an interesting
they're
point.
50 years old, so they all kind of just move, and she's, you know, she's got her rum and she's very fluid and she looks far more realistic.
Which I used to think about the auctioneer.
Yeah, but now it's like she looks human and the rest of them just kind of like don't really move very well. And so it kind of makes a lot of it look outdated, which I think is sad. You know, because it is such a classic attraction.
Okay.
That's kind of my feeling on it. She's great, but then it's kind of like
Better than the old?
No.
You like the old better?
I like the old one.
Okay, Kate,
She's
what'd you
actually a
think?
redhead.
The old new one or the new old one from before? The middle one.
The before times.
The most
The way
recent
back when.
before the new one.
What did I think?
Yeah, go ahead. What did you think of the whole thing?
I like it. I agree with you, and that's my first thought, is that it's very jarring how fluid her movements are. It's almost like it takes you out of the suspense of disbelief, because you get into this world of these are all pirates and these are all characters and I'm in their world and you know they're not real, but seeing that takes you even farther out of it.
Oh, they are real.
Well, I know they're real. My gosh. But
Real scary because they're pirates.
am I right, ladies? But I think that does take you even farther out of it, seeing her compared to the older ones. And I don't ever want to see, I mean, it's going to happen eventually maybe, but I don't want to see Pirates become this new updated attraction with all these fancy animatronics, because that would take away the original attraction. I do really like the new auction scene, and I always wanted to be like Red as little girl, not because she was being auctioned, but because she was this beautiful lady pirate and she had a beautiful dress, and I was like, I want to be that one. And now she's a hardcore lady pirate who's like, I'm gonna fight you and sell all your stuff, and also I have rum, so now I want to be her even more. Cameron, what do you think?
I like the choices, and I'll tell you why. I like.
Please do.
This is a show about our
No,
opinions.
I like new choices. Go on. I like new choices because it is expanding and tying in lore in other places. Of course, we're going to talk probably a little bit about Red out and about visiting New Orleans Square, but I like that they are continuing the story in such a way that allows people to have ownership of a new aspect of it. If somebody is 12 and coming to the parks, they get to talk about the time that they were there when they updated Red on the ride. They could have been there for the first weekend that Red was there. I think it's important to have establishing points of historical significance, even if it's adding something to an attraction. So, in that sense, all for it.
And what do you think of the scene?
The scene itself, from what I've seen in video, because I have not experienced it myself, I think some of the dialogue's a bit trite, a little too tongue-in-cheek. However, for the reasons they did it...
But you could say that for lots of the
Yeah,
time.
that's true, but there's an awareness to
I mean,
it
there's a
that
pirate
hurts.
feeding cats rum at one part, so
Yeah,
it's no worse than anything else, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, for the reason they made the change, I respect what they did. I think they could have done it a bit more eloquently, but they're not paying me to write it, so...
Cool, and I actually think that's a really good point to make when we're critiquing attractions and movies and all of these other things, is at the end of the day, we didn't get paid to write this, so we just get our opinions from the easy seats of watching and armchair quarterbacking. And
That was a sports thing!
Right?
We did a sports things, friends!
well, and Roger, did you notice my Mariners are beating your Angels right now?
More sports!
Oh,
I think that's a
yowza.
diss! Is that like in Final Fantasy VII?
If somebody can tell me if they're still winning, I'll be very happy. But yeah, that's great. But anyway, I just thought that's an interesting point, because all that's been going around in fan communities the last 2 weeks has been getting more and more vicious. I think it's very important to note that got to keep everything into perspective of like, hey, we get to go and experience things, but at the end of the day, we didn't get paid to make things. So We did get paid to do the show. No, we didn't. I give you coffee. Like
Literally in the tens of encouragements.
We get paid in
the
friendship.
ounces of coffee or water, if you're Caitlin.
Sorry.
I get paid in dilithium, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's a
I
small
get-
That's
amount,
what's in the box
I get
this
paid in
week.
kyber crystals.
Kyber crystals? That's a terrible method of propulsion. Good luck with your light stick. I really like hipstery over a very specific milieu of like geek fandoms. That's very good. That's very
Roger
good.
says, yes, I'm aware. Thanks, Mr. Daps. You're welcome, Roger. William, what did you say? Bailey says, I don't have a DAPs Magic Wiki, nor have I created one. Actually, I do. It's called My Brain Remembering Minuscule Facts. Very good job. And
You might know more about this show than we do.
There's a very good chance of that. I don't remember what we've done the moment I walk out the door.
He doesn't remember what he said 2 seconds ago.
Who am I? I'm Jean Valjean.
And I'm Javert. Anyway.
Okay.
Yes! There's so many good
This is
references.
what happens when you don't have air conditioning in a really hot
It's
studio.
warm, guys.
We're all just like, boom.
It's a little toasty.
So, rating the attraction where it is now, 2 thumbs up. Like, did you think the changes were good? Like, I actually was super. The first time, well, I went on it once, and I've watched the video a couple times since then. I literally got off the ride, and I was so focused on how awesome the tunnel scene was with the new pirate that when I got asked about the auction scene, I was like, oh, I don't really care. like I honestly, I was still like, the because it's the original dialogue, and that was always such a it really set your imagination loose in that tunnel, because you didn't exactly know what you were hearing, and you didn't know where it was coming from, and so it could be a lot of different things, and I just thought that part was cool, and the fact that they added the new pirate that actually made the first half of the attraction and the second half of the attraction blend together in a much better way that it just never has before, where I was like, how come it went from skeletons to real pirates when you came out of the tunnel? Like, and then in the movie they went in the tunnel and they were still I don't know, I didn't get it.
Well, and I think it was a fun surprise too, because
Totally.
like the auction scene is very similar to Florida's version now, so we kind of knew what we might see, but like the extra additions, it was like, oh, didn't know about that. Like, it was exciting, and it kind of had these new,
and the little lighting effects additions I thought added a little polish to it also, and I didn't ever feel like the ride was tired. It just it added a little bit of a sparkle to it, I guess, of magic, and I look forward to riding it again with you guys.
Aww.
Cameron's like, I'm never going on that ride ever again. All right, let's move out to New Orleans Square now, where Red is now wandering around looking for Captain Jack Sparrow, trying to sell rum, steal coin,
And murder.
and everything else. She hasn't said that yet.
She'll shoot you dead.
She wasn't carrying a gun.
You don't
Sure.
need a gun.
She looks at you and you die. Is that how it works?
She goes,
The
What do you
daggers
think-
come from her eyes.
What do you
friends.
think about Walk Around Red?
yay!
Walk around red?
Walk Around Red. That almost sounds like a cowboy name. Walk Around Red.
Like, don't mess with walk around red.
Does not ride horses.
That's his one characteristic. It takes me longer to get places. Watch out for walk around. No, I see him coming. It'll be a while.
He pulls up to the duel. Everyone else is on horses. He's like,
I'm gonna go get a sandwich.
Well, that's the thing, though. Walk around and actually has to circle the saloon before he can come in. It's gonna
Yes,
take him
you've
a
got
while.
time. It's good. Anyway,
walk around red.
Purchase our new Walk Around Red shirt at
teespring.com/tapsmagic.
we need to make this. This is
Walk
good.
Around Red.
Walk around red.
red.
All right, so Red is walking around in New Orleans Square.
Thank you.
I'm
Yes.
helping you.
Sauntering.
And what do you think of this new character? I'm going to just lead off, I posted a picture of her on Instagram Friday when we saw her, and was it Saturday? I had like 3,000 likes, and it's the most liked picture I've ever had on Instagram. It was Saturday night, you're right.
yeah.
And I've never had that much traction on Instagram that quickly, at all. So clearly the internet thinks it's something worth seeing. But what do you think of Red? You were there.
We did catch her first set.
Yeah,
So,
it was
which
fun.
we saw boom mics and cameras, and it was like, what's happening? Oh, there she is.
We should probably go
So
there.
I'm apologizing to Disney because I'm literally in all of their shots like this filming her.
No, you should be saying you're welcome.
I'm sorry. Like,
You're welcome.
You're supposed to say you're welcome. Okay. Anyway, what'd you think of Red?
she's so cool. She's awesome. I really want Annie to meet her. Like,
I think they're related.
yeah, they probably are.
Speaking of relations,
I don't know, I know.
I do believe that Red is related to Barney Stinson of How I Met Your Mother.
Really? I'm listening.
Because
I'm
a
I've
little
yet to
worried
see
about
even
this.
a detriment of a bad picture of her.
True.
Every single picture I've seen of her is just on it every time. I'm like, how is that even possible?
It's a picture, like someone gets her sneezing. It's like, Red, we got a bad picture of you. But did you?
That's probably true. Yeah, no, she's awesome. I think she will be a great addition to New Orleans Square. Like,
I hope she's a
felt like-
permanent addition.
yeah, like accent was great, just personality, character, like everything was just so spot on.
And I don't think she
so
said the
great.
same thing twice the whole
No.
time we were there, which,
Oh no.
like, it was very, like, she had so many different stories that she was telling and going along with that it was really, you know, she might have been making them up for all I know, but Pirate,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the video?
Yeah. But I will say with your Instagram thing, for something the internet was supposedly very angry about, they seem to care a whole awful lot. Wow, surprising how that works, huh, internet? Not that I'm calling you out or anything. I think you're a very lovely group of humans, but I also think you're very flawed and should look interior to yourself. That was my PSA.
Ba-na-na.
I think
Otherwise known as Be Nice. Is that what
also
you're
known
saying?
as Be Nice.
Yes, the
Be nice to people, whatever. I think she's fantastic, and like you said, there's no bad pictures of her.
Doesn't
She's, but I just want to walk around with her at all times, and I mean, I don't have to protect her because she's a pirate, and
She's gonna protect you.
she could protect me. I was gonna say protect my child at all costs, but she should protect me. I'm her child. Actually, that's my mom. Hi, Mom.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Cameron, what'd you think?
Opinions. I think Red is wonderful. I like having characters that have an extensive variation in interaction. While I do love some of my absolute favorite people to visit in the park, I feel like some of the visits can get a bit repetitive. I feel like I will never ever visit Red and get the same experience twice.
Yeah, you don't know what's gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool. Permanent character, would you like to see that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's move along and approach this in the good old DAPs magic way. John Lasseter is saying goodbye to the Walt Disney Company at the end of the year. He's a consultant until then. Go ahead, Caitlin. What are your thoughts on John Lasseter saying goodbye after missteps in November
I mean,
and his leave of absence, whatever he calls it?
unfortunately, it makes sense. I do appreciate that he waited until after the Incredibles premiere because I feel like that would have just been chaos if it was announced right before that and everyone on the red carpet is like, oh, let's talk about the movie.
Yeah, that
I
would have
wanna
been the
talk about
story.
this." So I do appreciate that was how it happened. It's kind of weird because in my head, like, he's been the Walt Disney of this generation, and so to have him step down from all Disney basically is just kind of like, my question is, who's gonna
Now
be
what?
that next, like, visionary? Who's gonna be the next Walt Disney of this next generation? And I'm just really curious about that.
Do you think it's the right thing to do?
Yes.
And do you think Disney handled it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Ladies first.
I think that John Lasseter has done wonderful things for Pixar, but that does not get to overshadow what he did. He was a very, very flawed human being, and we can't treat him like he was this savior. And it's important to remember the things he did first, and Pixar comes second, because we can't treat him as this martyr who was only perfect, and he was all his work. He did these things first, and then his work came later. But I think him leaving the company is it's the appropriate step. It's what needs to happen. And I don't even know what he's going to be doing for the rest of the year, if anything, honestly, because I don't know anyone in the company who would really want to work with him at this point. But I think him leaving is necessary, and it's unfortunate because he did do a lot, but you gotta play nice. You gotta play the game. So
The important thing to remember about art is that once art is released into the public, it is no longer the artist's. So don't let his creations that had his name attached to them be tainted by his actions, because there were dozens of creatives and brilliant people who are still on the up and up and wonderful that put their life's blood into these projects. But you can still love the art and absolutely abhor the person who made it after actions have been done. So I think that's important to remember, and I think it's also important to not demonify or demonstratively cast a light on anyone that was in contact with him, in the sense that so many people have made their careers. I mean, this is what happens with luminaries, is that if you attach to somebody brilliant, flawed or not, you're going to be able to make great things with them. There were many people who did that with John Lasseter, and I think there's much more that we can have come from them if we give them the space to continue being brilliant and the freedom to not be attached to that for the rest of their lives.
And I'll just add to everything you said, I think you're all right, is actions have consequences.
Yep.
I think you have to hate the sin, but not the sinner. And I think one of the things, I've been listening to lots of podcasts and things across lots of different geek realms in the last few weeks. And one of the things that really pops into my head that we need to get better as fans, I've already alluded to this, is we need to condemn the actions, not the person. And I think there's a lot of vicious destroying of people, fairly or not, because of sometimes actions they didn't take, just who they are. And this is mixing a bunch of different topics going on in the geek world. But I think you do have to recognize, 1, he did good, 2, he did bad, 3, he's reaping what he sowed in both cases. I mean, the guy's not going to be poor.
Sure.
You know, he is facing consequences for what he did, and I think that's fair. But I do think too that as fans, we need to start approaching these things in ways that are going to create positive outcomes for everybody, as opposed to demonizing people for their mistakes. And so that's my addition to it.
can I add to positivity in the
Please
Disney
do.
fandom? Don't
I like positivity in the Disney
be
fandom.
a police officer in the fandom of saying like, oh well, you can't, how dare you enjoy these movies, those were John Lasseter movies. And don't feel like you have to, if you don't want to consume those media anymore, don't do it. But don't condemn your friends, and don't condemn people that still like these. Or if Toy Story is their childhood, let Toy Story be their childhood, let them enjoy Toy Story. Like, you don't
And I
have
think it's creating a really interesting opportunity for some new leaders in the world of animation.
Definitely.
Just because you think of you know, when you have a driving force like that, it tends to overtake everything else around it, for better or for worse. And now you've got new opportunity for new ideas to come up and be heard and to be acted upon and experimented on. And who knows, maybe that will lead to the next big breakthrough in animation.
Yeah.
Where you kind of look at his era is going to always be defined probably by computer animation and taking things to that next level. And I don't even know what's next, but I think the more ideas you get out there and the more creativity you get out there, the more opportunities there is for something, I guess, extra magical.
Definitely.
Cool. Let's see, what else do you want to talk about? There's discounted tickets offering for Friends of Disneyland annual pass holders for the summer. So that means us as annual pass holders, we can now take our friends to Disneyland, and they can buy tickets for 40% off, because I'm not going to buy them tickets.
True.
Right? What do you think about this? So this is an interesting, different approach for Disneyland.
I have thoughts.
I will let a guy go first this time.
Yes. I
did I?
like this because I think it's Disney recognizing the positivity that annual pass holders can bring to the park, in not just in that they can bring other people, but inherently by the system you're assuming that a pass holder is going to be bringing in people that may not necessarily be coming to the park as often, and they have a built-in tour guide. I think this is a valuable exchange.
Potential new pass holder.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a great extensive marketing decision, but more importantly, it's going to control guest flow. I think the biggest hurdle that Disney has isn't necessarily the amount of people it has in the park, it's the amount of people uneducated about how to go about going about the park. And this system automatically sets up having people who are at least cursorily knowledgeable of how to get around. And I think it's going to help flow even if it adds to numbers.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. They're going to bring people within, and they might bring multiple people, which then brings in, way more people. It's like the year that they did the free
birthday
for your
thing?
birthday. Like,
Yeah, that was fun.
I went, and I was a pass holder, so I got my ticket free or whatever, and extra money, and I brought my mom, though. So it was like, I'm not coming by myself. Like, I'm going to make this whole group thing, or, So I think it's smart. And I know people, because living up in the Bay Area for so long, people will be like, so, do you get discounted tickets? So, and I'm like,
That is true. We do get asked that a lot, don't we?
We get asked that
I didn't even
all
think of that.
the time.
Yeah.
It would be, do you get a certain amount of tickets for free? And I'm like, no, I don't get anything for anyone else.
just spend a lot of money there.
No, that's not how it works. So, I mean, I'm wondering if this is like a test to see if they might do this, and then kind of have 40%, but maybe in peak times it's 10% off, or
Oh yeah, I'm sure it
wonder if they're
varies
gonna
based on.
kind of test this out. I think it's a good idea because I mean, we go to Disneyland by ourselves, or we're all pass holders anyways. But yeah, if say my parents wanted to come, and
It's just saying they could have a coupon day or something.
That was a Jurassic Park reference, and I accept it.
The day after the 25th anniversary, I felt like it was appropriate.
But I think it's smart.
We should have put that in the order tonight, huh? All right, what do you think of it?
I think between this and blackout days getting lifted, we're going to see an influx
There's
of.
gonna be some busy days.
Yeah, there's gonna be some busy days, and that's what I think about that.
And we've got the days that were lifted for blackout days on the website, and you can see it in the link that Maddie just tweeted and I retweeted. And Maddie's sitting there at Focus in the front row tweeting for us. Good job, Maddie.
Thanks, Maddie.
We miss you, Roger. Finally, new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. 3?
Ooh.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Not 5.
3.8.
3.8.
Don't joke, man. That's pretty close.
I know.
Oh.
Kingdom
Anyway.
Hearts 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8.
What'd you think of it?
I think it's neat. I like both trailers because the one that we put in the article is the Pirates of the Caribbean trailer. And I think that both trailers we're going to see a whole lot of really cool things. We're seeing some Pixar because the last Kingdom Hearts came out in 2005, I believe. Yes?
Yeah, right around there,
Cool.
I think.
Sure. Yes, 2005, because I said 14 years in my article. So we see some Ratatouille, we see some Toy Story, we see Tangled, which I'm really excited about.
That seems to be the one the internet's buzzing about today.
Yeah, just you look at the animation and it's beautiful, and obviously it's not going to be exactly the same in gameplay, but seeing these promo images of Rapunzel is amazing. But
And apparently Walt Disney would like us to know that Olaf is taller than Donald. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's
kind of weird.
terrifying.
Yeah.
that's really scary.
Hashtag taller than Donald was and it kind of looks like he is
Oh,
in this
he's like-
picture. He's taller.
A decent amount taller.
Decent amount taller.
Because if you took Donald's hat off, I don't like that. Okay, well,
I just wonder if you put a hat on him if he says happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Wouldn't you- I feel like they should remake Frosty with Josh Gad.
No, don't you speak that into existence.
I think this is a great idea. Somebody needs to do this.
Don't you put this evil on me.
CGI Frosty, real life.
Oh, but the
Josh
same
Gad.
everything else.
Yes.
Just one CGI.
And it's 22 minutes, and yes.
so anyway, I think
Professor
Kingdom
Hinkle
Hearts 3
jumps
is
down
pretty
the-
great.
Yeah. What are you most looking forward to with the new ride? Or
The new ride. The thing I'm looking
game.
forward to most about the new ride.
New game.
There's really cool collector's editions. There is like a PlayStation 4 that
How
has...
many did you say? Was it 9?
Like 4 or 5.
Oh, 5? Okay.
Well, because there's the standard edition, there's the deluxe edition, there's an edition that has all of the editions of the game for your console. There's an edition that has Kingdom Hearts 3 with a PlayStation 4 that has a skin, and then there's the like super deluxe edition that has collectible figurines. And the only way you can get the
I'm
collectible
tired already.
Sora, Donald, and Goofy figurines is if you get to the $300 super deluxe whatever collection. So I think collectors are going to have a field day. But I think the PlayStation's real cool. Not that I need another one, but I think it's real cool.
Okay. What'd you think? You're just happy that it's coming and there
Hi,
might be an
friends.
actual real
Cameron
thing.
here. Bit of a story for you. I like video games.
You do?
Yeah. So
Go fast.
Here's the big thing.
Yeah.
I think the coolest thing that these trailers have shown us is that the biggest argument in Kingdom Hearts is simplicity of Disney movies versus the ridiculous complicated nature of Square Enix. And we've seen both. There's a lot of rando extended characters from the Final Fantasy universes that kind of don't make sense if you don't know what they are. But I didn't feel that compromised the integrity of enjoying the Disney content. Yeah. So, like, extreme fanboys like myself will have a great time, like, conspiracy theorying A Beautiful Mind, all the different characters that are in this. And I think people can still really enjoy the Disney stuff that is in this without detracting from it.
What do you think, Fast?
The graphics are cool.
Yeah,
okay, good.
I don't.
It looks like it's gonna be a blast of a game, and I hope we'll play it. Maybe get a review copy.
So
We'll see if we can work something out like that. Let's close this thing out.
If you want to go see more of the stuff that we've just talked about, except different because it was about other things, go to thegeekscorner.com. That's thegeekscorner.com, where us talk about things.
Head over to dapsmagic.com, check out all the really cool things that happened this week in geek news, and subscribe to our mailing list.
And make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and find us all on social media. We're all over the place, and we're pretty active on social media, I guess. But that's all the time we have for you. We are, aren't we?
We're very active.
We're always on social media.
To a fault.
Yeah, so connect with us. But we hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week, and we'll see you around the corner.
Bye!
In theory, we are needed.
Oh,
You're fine, walk it off.
Thanks, Mom. I got a gummy.